Higher Expectations is an advanced technology search firm providing comprehensive employment and staffing solutions for our clients. From the beginning, we have been committed to honesty, ethics, and exceeding our clients' expectations. Contact Higher Expectations today.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream here with Higher Expectations. I wanted to address a couple of items before we get going and bring our guests on board here. First of all, my assistant clearly must have run away. Oh, that's right. I don't have an assistant. So all spelling errors are on me. We are going to talk about preformance instead of performance, and I'll let our guest address that. And so my apologies for all the spelling errors. I just wanted to make it real so you guys knew I wasn't some sort of machine. The second thing is I wanted to set this up because it's really a critical topic for me. And I'm hoping you, if you own a business or in this turnover tsunami we find ourselves in, I want you to gather some tips that will help you present yourself better. So whether you're a company and you're trying to present yourself to a candidate, because that's huge. And if you're a candidate trying to impress a company, you're going to get some tips here today. So that's why I wanted to talk to you today. Please feel free to make comments in there and I'll bring them up as we can. But ladies and gentlemen, without a lot of further ado, I wanted to introduce to you a man that I've known for 5 years. And when it comes to presentation and getting quality out of yourself and those around you and just production quality, this is the guy. And so that's why I brought him on. So without further ado, let me bring in Rob Lott. Hello, Rob.
Hey, Peter.
Thanks. Welcome to the live stream, sort of experimental situation here, but we want to help our companies. We want to help our candidates. And I couldn't think of a better person that might be able to address all of the issues that go in with, presenting your company well, presenting you as a human being well. So, Rob, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. I was telling you a little bit before we started here. I was like, this is the highlight of my day. I've been looking forward to this. You contacted me about a week or so ago and said, hey, is this something that we want to do? And I said, yeah, for sure.
We've already got a comment, Rob. Hold on.
What's that?
It did. Yes, it did, Jack. I'm sorry about that, but not today. Not today, but we'll have you on for future edition.
Future, yes.
Thank you.
We'll make it like Hollywood Squares.
You can see why performance is so incredibly important, Rob. So as I'd mentioned, the point of today was I've got clients and client companies that I say, okay, I've got the candidate for you, but you're going to have to sell them.
Yeah.
Because there is so many companies out there. Everybody wants the great technical candidates. And I've got companies that can't sell the opportunity or the company that makes it worthwhile.
Sure.
On the other side, Rob, I've got candidates who are scary, whether it's a virtual environment or we're now starting to go more live. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that you might be able to give some folks some tips on how they might be able to better present themselves.
Absolutely. And what I'm going to be speaking through and viewers, everybody who's on this live stream, everybody who's paying attention to this, you'll be able to put kind of the things that I'm talking through. You'll be able to put it through your own filter of whatever world you're in. For me, I'm going to be talking specifically about the performance, the literal like theatrical on-stage performance aspects of how to get a great performance out of yourself and how to get a great performance out of others. But in addition to that, kind of the process of getting to the stage and really kind of the, Peter, I know that you have lots of experience in the audition world, lots of experience in the performance world. And you know that one of the scariest things that people can do. Jerry Seinfeld has the classic line of people would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. And, it's
Right.
the number one fear is public speaking. And so not death, but public speaking. And so along those lines, just putting yourself out there in a performance situation. And I believe, the Shakespeare line, all the world is a stage. I heard that when I was 2 years old and I went, well, yeah, that makes sense. So I have kind of grown up with that mentality of going, okay, everything always is a performance. So let's step up and perform, and let's be polished, and let's present ourselves well. So along those lines, I want to talk about kind of through the perspective of the audition process and the onstage performance process. And how does that apply to somebody who wouldn't say, no, please don't put me on stage. No, I have no interest in giving a public speech. That's not what we're talking about. What we are talking, I will share what I know from the performance aspect and the audition aspect, and then you can put that through your filter of your everyday life and how that applies.
That's perfect, because I get hiring managers or company executives that say that's not my job.
Yep.
Or I don't know, they've grown a company and yet they don't know how to present it or make you want to be part of their team.
Yeah.
So take it away.
All right. So the first thing, and again, going with the audition experience. So many have seen, maybe you've seen the American Idol auditions, or you yourself have auditioned for something, and you see people kind of just nervous before they go into the room, and they're just kind of, they have this nervous energy, and it's, their pulse is up and their breathing is crazy. And I read a study once that said that a day of auditioning, your body physically, in a day of auditioning, your body physically goes through the same thing it would go through for a heart attack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense. That's why my candidates are so petrified, knowing all the years of experience they have, but yet you put them on a Zoom or in a live interview.
Yeah.
And they
it's
get
just
tongue-tied, they don't know what
you
to
get
do.
nervous, you get scared, and it's completely understandable, but again, if you kind of, I'm going to give you some tips and some tools and some steps to take so that it's not that way. So the first thing, and these are things that I do, these are things that my friends, other performers do before we step into the room. So we'll talk a little bit about when going into the actual job interview or the audition here in just a moment, but all these things apply for stepping on stage as well as before stepping into the audition room. So the first thing before we step into the audition room is to breathe. Now that sounds so simple. It sounds so easy. It sounds so, well, of course, that's what I'm supposed to do. In fact, I'm doing it automatically without even thinking about it. But here's the thing. Just naturally, whenever we get excited to do something, when we get nervous to do something, there's going to be a natural uptick in our breathing. Mm-hmm. And what we need to do just before going into the audition room, just before getting onto that Zoom call, just before walking into the interview, take the time to do 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And honestly, if you're watching this, and Peter, I'm going to ask you to do this with me. If you're watching this, here we go. We're just going to do 3 in through the nose, out through the mouth. Ready? Keep your shoulders down. Let it all fill up your chest and your stomach as much as possible. Here we go. Number 2. And the third one. Here we go. Now,
so if you're watching this live, you got to tell me you feel calmer. Put calmer in the comment section.
Yeah. Wow. Just naturally, you feel more calm. And how long did that take? That took maybe 30 seconds. Maybe 30 seconds to do that. And it's not, but immediately we have this sense of, oh, okay. My pulse rate has gone down. My heartbeat has gone down. my breaths are deeper, less shallow. Also, you're getting the oxygen to your brain that it needs. And, in order to be able to think more clearly and to be able to articulate what you want to say better. So that's the first thing, is breathing. Okay. First and easiest. That's the first thing. And I have been on the other side of the table in an audition setting where I'm the director, or I'm, working along with the director to cast a show, and somebody will come in and you can tell, oh my goodness, they're just crazy nervous. There's some talent there, but they are crazy nervous and just super keyed up. And I will literally stop the audition and I'll say, oh my God, you know what? Let's all in the room. Oh, well, let's all take some deep breaths, because we want to get a great performance. We want to get a great audition out of this individual. And so what if that individual, before they came in, did that for themselves? Right. And keep in mind, these are things that we forget. When you were sitting behind the table, Peter, you've hired 1,000 people in your life.
More.
Yeah. And every time somebody comes in front of you to interview, you are hoping that they are it, aren't you?
Oh,
you're hoping they're the one.
There's nothing I want more than them to succeed.
Yes.
And I get the very best of them instead of the nervous. So, and I can see it. I can see it in what they do, Rob. And I don't know if you'll cover this in some of your tips, but they tense up here in the arms and the hands and the shoulders. And it's okay. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, it'll be okay. Everything's going to be okay. We're just relax, take a breath and relax. And so again, that's a reminder that everybody, whenever you go into an audition, in my world, when I go into an audition, in your world, when you go into an interview, the person behind the table, the person behind the desk, the person on the other end of the screen, on the other end of the camera, they want you to do it. They want you to win. They want you to succeed. They are for you. You're going to make their job super easy if you arrive calm and relaxed. Okay. So second thing, what did I tell you? Was it power poses?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look at that. So the second thing is power poses. Now, some of this stuff you might be going, okay, this sounds a little bit, kind of hippy dippy kind of stuff. Well, here's the deal. If your mind can be in a place where it is super nervous and super concerned about what is coming. But if you physically, by breathing and by putting yourself into a power pose, right? And this power pose, I don't know if you can see it here.
Right. Hold on.
Yes. I'm like Superman, right?
I think I've got it.
Yeah. Being in that Superman power pose. And again, these are things that you can do before you get onto the Zoom call. Maybe if you're, if you go into an office to do an interview, maybe you want to go into the restroom just by yourself a little bit and just power up with that power pose, what that does physically. So when we are nervous, when we are not necessarily confident, we make ourselves physically small. And maybe you've experienced this. You've gone to a networking event or something, and you don't feel like you 100% belong. And so you go over, you put your name tag on, you get your drink or whatever, you go stand in the corner and you make yourself kind of small.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas other people who are experiencing extreme confidence, they are making themselves big. They are standing tall. Their shoulders are back. Their feet are more than shoulder width apart. They are using up all this room all around them to tell their stories. They are making themselves big in the room.
And Rob, here's why this is important for our audience. So whether you've got a company and you're trying to land that VP of sales or technology, or trying to get your next power partner, or trying to sell yourself to the company, there's a difference between being arrogant and your power pose there, right? And confident.
Yes.
Meaning, I'm the expert you need my company, there's a difference between that and arrogance, which turns everyone off, right?
For sure. Yes. Arrogance turns everyone off. Confidence turns people on.
Yeah.
People are drawn to confidence. And so again, the way that you can literally physically trick your brain. I used to be confused by the idea of fake it till you make it. I was like, what? No, I want to be true. I want to be real. Well, no, the idea is even if you aren't necessarily feeling confident, you will just by faking it, by doing the things that confident people do, your brain will be shifted and your brain will be tricked into going, oh, well, we're standing in confident poses. our breathing has been lowered and our pulse rate is low and our heart rate is at a nice, steady, confident pace. Well, we must be in a place of confidence. We must be in, and again, and it just, so that's the fake it till you make it idea that I used to not understand. And now I do get it. Trick your brain into thinking that you're in a confident place.
There you go. Good.
Yeah. All right. And what was the next one? What did I say?
So nervous.
So nervous. People are so nervous. What if we shifted our nervousness to excitement? Okay. Now I've heard people say, I've heard it said, people who are nervous cannot wait for it to be over, but people who are excited cannot wait for it to start. And did you know, once again, physically, nervousness and excitement have the same physical attributes, but mentally, it puts you into a very different place. If you say, man, I'm just so nervous. Are you nervous for your job interview later today? Oh yes, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous for my job interview. Okay, well, then you're going to show up and you're going to have all of the physical attributes of nervousness. Okay, so what if you've done the power poses? What if you have done your breathing and you still can't get your nervousness under control? Now's the time to shift it, a mindset change to excited. I'm not nervous anymore. I'm excited. For me, I cannot wait to step on stage. I cannot wait. I'd have no interest in the end of the show. I have no interest in stepping off stage. I cannot wait to get on stage and do the show and present this thing that I've prepared, rehearsed for. I cannot wait to show it to the world. And at the same time, there are other people who go, oh, I'm so nervous. I've worked on this so much. It's all riding on this performance. I just want it to be over. I just want it to be over. Can we just start it so that we can be done with it? Okay. Relax.
Mark, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, bringing the best, Mark. We're not messing around here.
Relax. Yeah. Relax and make it switch your mindset. Not to be nervous, but to be excited. So when somebody says, are you nervous for your job interview? Oh, you have a big job interview tomorrow. Are you nervous? Oh, no, I'm excited. Even if you just tell yourself that.
Rob, tell me how you incorporate this. One of the tricks that I've tried to tell candidates, and it's a different world because now with Zoom and, we're getting back to live. I've always told candidates when they're nervous to breathe. They don't have to respond. It's not a game show. You're not going to hit a buzzer and you have to have the right answer right then.
Yeah.
But I tell them to push the balls of their feet through the floor. Because as an interviewer, I can't see you're doing that. Now, I can see your hands and your arms and your shoulders.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you're doing that you're pushing your feet through the floor while you can gather your thoughts and breathe and not have to repeat something immediately.
Yeah. I love that. And again, it's placing the energy and it's pushing the energy down into a literally into a grounded place.
Yeah.
And I'll give you another one. I heard this from a defense attorney, actually, that they would always tell the people that they were defending, they would say, hey, when you're sitting behind the table and the other lawyer is asking you questions, I want you to sit with your palms up.
Oh.
Put your hands in your lap, on your knees, put them with your palms up. And again, those of you who are watching this right now, if you're watching on your phone, set your phone down for a second and just put your palms up. And what that does, it's really hard. It's really hard to tell a lie. So that's why the defense attorney is there going, I don't want you to say anything that is untruthful, but I want you to be open to what is coming toward you. And then also just that physical change puts you in a place of calm and going, what I have is literally open-handed. What I'm going to share is open-handed. I'm ready to give to you whatever I have, whatever information I have, I'm going to share it with you.
And Rob, that is an act of surrender.
Yeah.
And submissive. Not that we have to be submissive in our power pose.
No.
But I'm not coming at you. I'm not angry. I'm not anything else. I'm just allowing.
Yeah. And again, it's that just changing the physicality will lead to a mental shift, but anything that you can do like that, dig the balls of your feet into the ground, sit with your palms up while they are asking the questions. take that time to breathe and really listen to what they're asking, bring that down. Yeah.
Rob, there was some comments here about your feedback. We're going to get to that, Jack. We're going to let everybody know where to find him. But thank you. That's awesome.
Thanks, Jack. That's great. Yeah. So what was then? What? Oh, that position. That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Mark, for chiming in. Beautiful.
Receptive, open. Yes.
Yeah. So the next thought you had was when you come into the room.
Yeah.
Wait just a second here. Let me get rid of Mark's comment. We loved it. When you come into the room, either you're the owner of a company or the manager trying to entice the candidate, or you're a data scientist trying to tell the company that you are a
expert. You are the expert. And here's the thing. Here's the deal. I know that there are a lot of people who are, I literally, there was a guy that I talked to just the other day, and he said, I've applied for 1,000 jobs this year. And I said, oh, you're exaggerating. He goes, Rob, I am not exaggerating. I have applied for 1,000 jobs. Now, so I want to be understanding of that there are people that are watching that are going, I get it. I'm happy to do all of this stuff, but I'm just, I'm applying for everything. And so there are going to be maybe some jobs that you apply for where you're like, you know what? I think I could do that. I think I could do that job. But if you position yourself as the expert going in, and here's the way that you position yourself as that expert, recognize the answer to all of their questions. Whatever questions they are going to have, the answer. And I'll tell you why you know the answer, because more often than not, especially in an interview situation, they've already tested for your competency to do the job. In the interview situation, they want to get to know you. So who is the expert on you? You are the expert on you. There is nobody who knows you better than you. So There is not going to be a question that they ask that is going to stump you. And there shouldn't be a question that they ask that's going to stump you. And again, going back to the person behind the desk, the person on the other end of the camera, the person behind the table, they are for you. They want you to win. They want you to succeed. They're not actually trying to trip you up. More often than not, when I talk to anybody who does any kind of hiring, and I will say, what are your favorite interview questions? And they're not trip 'em up questions. We think that there's trip 'em up questions because that's the stories that we've heard. That's the folklore of interviews. But for the most part, when we think back, they aren't trip up questions. They're not gotcha questions. They're not trying to fool you questions. They're questions that you know the answer to, but maybe they were worded in just such a way that just maybe, you weren't, maybe it just was perceived differently or weirdly. And you just go, why, what, I don't, No, you ask them to repeat the question because you are the expert. You know the answer.
Rob, this is so good because you wouldn't be in the position you are if you hadn't already been vetted.
Yep.
This is the final step to see, do I like you? Yeah. So if you're the company trying to get business from vendor or investor, they already know about your background. They've done that. They want to say, can I work with you? Do I like you?
Yeah.
The same thing for, they've already done the technical screening on your, Python and all of that stuff. They want to see, can you speak and do I like you?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Was there more? Did I say more?
Oh, we did. Yeah, we did. Hold on. Look at,
Good.
Look
yes.
at Mark coming in. Mark with the affirmation that we were both looking for. Thank you.
Yes, as a words of affirmation person, Mark, you're my best friend right now.
You did have something. So after all of this process and you become the expert actually, and you do your stuff.
Yeah.
Then what?
Reward yourself. Reward yourself. This was a trick that I learned from a friend years and years and years ago in regard to the audition process. And that is your responsibility. Your responsibility is to show up to the audition. right? Your responsibility is to apply for the job, put your best foot forward, make sure your resume is all squared away and good and accurate and is in line with what they're looking for. That's your responsibility. And when you get the call, your responsibility is to show up, right? But you are not the gatekeeper as to whether or not you get the job. It's not up to you. It's up to somebody else. Yeah. So you don't get to feel good or bad about yourself depending on whether or not you got the job. No matter what, by applying for the job, by putting your resume together, by putting that out there and getting it out into the world and receiving the call and going through that heart attack experience of the audition or the interview rather, by going through that, at the end of it, you need to reward yourself for the fact that you did it. And so for my friend, what that means is she gets a milkshake at McDonald's.
Yeah.
That's what it means. And she waits and she goes, you know what? At the end of this audition, no matter what, I got up, I went to the audition, I signed up, I waited, I went to the audition, I did the audition, and it's over now and I can reward myself. So it's going to look differently for everybody. Maybe it's, you're going to reward yourself with 20 extra minutes of social media time. Maybe you're going to reward yourself with, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to go out and I'm going to order dessert tonight because I had a job interview today and I went and I did it. And it's not up to you. You don't get to decide the success by way of getting the job. What you get to decide is the success of the fact that you showed up. Amen. So reward yourself.
Amen. Hey, something you might want to let your dentist know.
What's that?
So there we go. Listen, Rob, you have been wonderful, and the stuff that you bring is going to help our audience, both whether they're a company or whether you're trying to be with that company, or if you want to get Rob Lott and you want to have him work with you, then here's how you get in touch with Rob. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this man will take your company conference or awards ceremony you're going to give at the end of this year, because you're still going to have employees, right? He'll turn it into magic. And so, Rob, I can't thank you enough for your time today, the helpful hints, the way to treat, business-like interactions, like, auditions for theater or a show. Because you're the show. So,
and all the world's a stage. So you might as well put yourself downstage center.
Amen. Hey, thank you so much, Rob.
Thank you very much
for being in our wonderful. Now, how else would they get in touch with you? Is this Rob at?
Yeah, Rob at bluetrumpetcreative.com. You can go to bluetrumpetcreative.com and learn all about what we do with coaching, consulting, and creative development. But then also I do have my podcast, the Leading Creative Podcast, where we bridge the gap between leadership and creativity. So you can look that up, the Leading Creative Podcast. There's also a fun podcast that I do called Let's Talk Soon, where we talk about, things. I do that with my sister. I do that with my sister, actually. And it is she's a very accomplished author, and I am an actor and a director. And so she and I both talk about the things that we are reading about, writing about, thinking about, and speaking up about on that show. And it's just kind of fun banter between two brother and sister artists.
Oh, thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you, man. This is great. I love it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you being here on our live stream. We'll do this sometimes weekly, at least bi-monthly, just to bring you some information that's going to make your interview or your company better. That's what we're here for. Rob, thanks so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And I can't say let's talk soon, but we'll talk again.
That's somebody else's branding.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.